Rest and relaxation day. Okay, well, I slept in. It's 10 o'clock. Got up, ate a bowl of cereal, made my protein milk for the next few days, and then I played on my phone. Watched some stupid Facebook shorts or whatever they're called, or the YouTube shorts, I don't know, Facebook, Instagram, I don't know, whatever little videos that Facebook does. And then I said, hey, let's go play some Baldur's Gate. But then I came downstairs and go, hey, let's go paint because all my stuff is set up for painting. So we're going to do that instead. Alexa, turn on Dynamic Duo. And so I'll paint. Maybe I'll play some Baldur's Gate later. I want to. I want to do everything. I want to do everything there is to do, and I want to do it all right now. But alas, that is not what I'm going to do because I don't have that much time. So I'm going to try a couple things here. I hope this doesn't look too bad. I mean, I can always take these off, but I am going to put some grass and some stuff around his bottom base here. Just want to try to mix it up though, not just be standard grass. I thought maybe there'd be some like large, where the grass is overgrown. This is not a well-maintained location, right? So we're gonna have a couple of these tiny little spots where the grass is just grown taller. That's the plan anyway. Hopefully this will stay in place. These things do come off. I've proven that. They are not, the sticky is not as sticky as you would hope. Okay, so just gonna put a little bit of this here. To be honest, I'd probably use super glue because this is a gel and it's not going to seep where I want grass to be. So so really all that is taking that and finding my grass. Do I want like grass? No, we'll just go with this grass. Natural looking grass. Okay, that works. So take him off the base. Do I not have a shallow one already? Oh, here it is. So it's a little more shallow like this. It can be a little bit more creative in my... I can take the lazy route. So that's the goal here. Being lazy. Can tuck him in there. Just get the grass. Get the grass nice and on the spots where I think where I put super glue. Now, the trick, of course, will be getting all the extra off without breaking the guy. And I'll probably use a little brush of some kind. I should probably brush it off. If I don't brush it off some way, it'll just end up falling off. Anyway. So now the rocks. Now he's kind of like the big rock he's standing on is kind of surrounded by grass instead of by just random mud. So you can see I put a lot of work into the rock yesterday, so it's got a lot more texture, shade, and just looks more like a rock. It's like looks a lot better there. He's pretty done. I do have a couple of micro things to do to him painting. It's maybe a little bit of shading, highlighting. I don't know. I'm always struggle shading, highlighting. It's not that I don't want to do it or I can't do it. It's that I sometimes have a hard time figuring out what the best shading and highlighting to do is. You know, what colors to use and how much white and brown and light greens, and trying to get that feeling of shadow. So I amplified his shadow slightly. You probably can't see it. Hold on, I'm gonna get another light. I'm charging the one on my charging the one I was using yesterday, so I don't have that one. Okay, so I got to touch up his boot. You see I got a little paint on it, so I got to fix that. Probably put some highlights into the boot so that they pop a little bit better. Maybe some white to call out the edges better. So yeah. Okay, let's see here. Let's get something else on him, shall we? Where's my water? Now I'm gonna go. I don't know how long. An hour? 45 minutes? 2 hours? You're saying, wow, that's pretty indecisive. Yeah. Well, it's going to come down to how my back feels. You know, how much can I withstand this bending over stuff? I don't know what it is. Like I say, some painters, man, they're going and going and going, and they go hours at a time, and I'm like, dude, I am impressed by your ability to keep on going. Okay. You know what? My camera needs to be fixed. Okay, hopefully that's better. Okay. So what should I do here? I think he is. Probably should base him. I like to have the bases all be black. The base, you know, the actual border. Um, unless, like I said before, all the minis that I'm using belong to some sort of one of my board games or something. And then in case I give them all the same color, the same alt color. Black just means it's just a generic piece. It can be used for whatever I'm using it on. But like her, like she belongs to Frosthaven, so I'd probably give all my Frosthaven characters like maybe a gold border or red or yellow or just something that stands out, just so that I know they all belong to a board game. Now the trick is I have multiple sets of those that are like that. So I have some games where the question is would I accidentally get them mixed up? Because this allows me to keep them in a box in one of my X cases, display, show off, look at the minis, use the minis for other things, but at least I know, hey, all the red ones go to one game. And then when I go get that game and it goes, these are the characters, I'm like, oh, those characters are over here, and I grab all the red ones because I know they all belong to that game. Or all of the yellow ones or gold ones, that kind of thing. So it kind of keeps me a little organized. I'm like, okay, which pieces do I need? I'm looking all over the place for them. And pieces do tend to get separated, moving all over the place. All right, so let's do something with his. Let's do something with his highlighting. I want to see about maybe getting a little white. I think that's. I don't think that's white. I mean, it is white, but I think it's primer. Did I actually put white primer on anything? I do have primer on this thing too. I tell you, my mat. I just need to dump it just because I need to know. And I almost need to have like a map. You know, what do you call it? One of those wire map kind of deals. What do they have? What do they call them? Object dictionary, where you just say, okay, spot 1, red, spot 2, blue, spot 3, orange, and then put them all in nice, neat lines across, and I just go, red, 2. It's just, and then I can go, oh, okay, that's what that color is. But the thing is, when I do my palette, I stick like tiny dots, just little bits, because I'm doing tiny guys. I usually don't need that much, and I rarely need to put extra down. So it's kind of like, what I really want to write, malignant green, and then only use it for 2 seconds. I don't know. I guess it's more important that I write down what's on the mini, but then I forget that. Just have a page for every mini I do. And then when I want to go back and fix him, I can go, oh, that guy is supposed to have black. Yeah, he's looking pretty finished, really. I would have liked to have been a little bit more creative with the fire. The fire cape, that was what the goal is there. I just couldn't quite, I mean, and the idea is, where's the fire coming from? Is it going away from him? Did I do that backwards? Is it supposed to be yellow on the inside and red on the outside? I think it is. I think I did that backwards. So really what this is saying is it's burning towards him. Which is, I mean, I guess if it's supposed to have a look of burning towards him. The idea is that this cape is supposed to look like it's on fire. Or like it, almost like it is fire. Blasting out from him. And I think I did that totally wrong. I don't know. I mean, it's probably fixable because there's not so much, like, there's no fine detail. But I would have to redo his cape completely to get that right. So yeah, I don't know. I would like to do that cape to look like fire. Just that's the goal. It has that kind of flair about it, you know, like it's fire. So I was thinking it'd be cool to color it that way, but I think I did it backwards. I don't think it's supposed to be red up close and yellow out back. It's supposed to be yellow up close and red towards the end, I think. So yeah, I may have to. Maybe I'll touch on that again later, but for now, that's what he is, and that's what I've got. cleaning up the base where I got a little glue on the side, and I don't really want it on the side. Alright, so get that kind of cleaned up. We'll get some more, we'll get the black surrounding parts on soon enough. And then we will, let's get some, alright, let's do this white thing. I don't really, I think I'm just going to go with classical white for the highlights. I'll use an ink. This is white ink. It's super thin, so it doesn't provide that really bold white unless it's not thin enough. But the idea is to kind of let the blacks on his boot stand out a little bit. I don't know where to put this. Right there, if I can remember. White. And then that's the trick, man, remembering where I put these things. Grim black. See, this grim black speed paint, I don't know that it actually does anything. It's not black for one thing, it's gray, but it's dark gray. Oh, I gotta go through and do some tweaking on my, maybe tomorrow, I don't know, I'll try to spend a little time on my stream, you know, do something to it to make it different, better, cooler, I don't know. Rest assured, I am aware, for all you people trying to sell me services, I am aware my stream is not anything special. Oh, you know, everybody wants to sell me, hey, I can fix this up for you for X dollars. I have to cut them off at the pass. I just say, look, I have no money to be making my thing better. So I do plan to, but I am slowly gaining followers, and I do have a Patreon if you want to help with that. You know, hey, the money I have spent none of the money from my Patreon yet because I don't have that much. But once I have a little bit built up, I will you know, maybe pay for some services, make my site a little nicer, which will hopefully result in getting a few more people to follow, and then, you know, eventually, maybe, I can build up a little bit more and a little bit more. All that fun. We'll have fun till our daddy takes the T-bird away. Till the ugly website goes away. Ugly streaming page goes away. I really don't think this is going to do much because it is not black. And being dark enough gray, it's going to have little to no effect, I think, on this character. I forgot if she said she went to go see, my daughter went to go see a concert last night. I'm trying to remember the name of the group. It sounded familiar to me, but I can't. And when she told me what it was, I was like, oh, okay, I think I know who that is. I can't tell you I know what songs they sing, because unless they're really well known, it's like very few groups could even tell you what songs they sing. So I don't know the title of songs very often. I'd be like, oh, okay, I know that song. Somebody told me, you know, played me an example. They'd go like, oh, he plays this song. And they play it, and I'm like, oh, yeah, okay, that's who that plays. But then I'd be like, somebody say, oh, you know this group? And I'm like, yeah, they play that one song, because I still don't know the title of the song. So, that one song, you know, the song with the music and the singing. I'm like, oh yeah, the music and singing song, yeah, that was That was a good one. So on this side, he's got very distinct two buckles on his boot. On this one over here, he's only got one buckle, so not sure why. And I don't know if I should make those. I mean, I think I do want to paint those buckles. I just haven't decided what color. Do I paint them silver? That would be the obvious choice, I guess, right? Silver buckles. Could go gold, but I didn't really put a lot of gold on this guy, so it seems like that would be out of his consistency, you know? Right now I'm just trying to get all my flaws off of him. You know, places where I got paint that should not have been there. I think I've got most of that fixed now. This entire boot's now black, but I still think I need to put actual highlights, you know, where you go through and put a little effort in. Don't always expect your speed paint to do all the work. So that's kind of what I've done. Speed paint, just do it, man. Don't make me do it. I don't want to have to work at it. The speed paints, they're okay, but they don't do all the work. They are adequate, adequate at their job, but they are not going to do the whole thing. I don't think so anyway. Some people really like speed paints for just table ready, but see, like I said, I don't like table ready. It's okay, but my feeling is I like to put a little bit more effort into it. Just slopping colors on does work, and but I have a hard time with just stopping. I look at it going, eh. See, I look at it through a magnifying glass. See, a lot of people can look at it and probably make it easier to stop when they're looking at it through their normal eyes, because you don't see the small details when you're looking at it that way. So yeah, it's kind of it's both good and bad to use magnifying glasses, because you see everything under a magnifying glass. You see all the cracks, you see where your lines don't line up. Like right now, look, you might not even be able to see this, but where was it? On here, his pants down here, right where his boot is, right in here. The black of the boot, I have paint just slightly going up his leg. Now, you can't even see it with your naked eye. I mean, it's so small. Yeah, maybe a little bit. Yeah, it with the naked eye, it just makes the boot look blurry. I mean, that's what the black does. It makes the boot look blurry because it's such a small overflow. It's almost like it doesn't look defined because you have that overflow. But if you take it out and then you look at it the naked eye sees it as very sharp because it's not seeing the magnified. It's kind of like how smooth your skin looks has a lot to do with how under magnification, how the cells are, how clean they are, how healthy they are, you know. But if you look at a magnification, you can see how, you know, all the flaws in your skin or all the pores and stuff. And then you can kind of see just how healthy your skin truly is, because it's like if something looks really good under magnification, then it's going to look spectacular under naked eye. As far as lines and definitions go, if you don't have anything overrunning or none of your cells look pores or whatever. So yeah. Anyway, so a lot of people say, I don't need magnification. Well, you might not. You could probably, really good painters with very steady hands, probably could paint pretty accurately without it. But I still think those same painters would be even better under magnification. I'm telling you. But if all you're doing is painting for table ready, all you're doing is for naked eye painting, and you don't care, it's just then yeah, table that. Why go over the top if it's not important to you? Oops, it's definitely. Then don't do it. It's all about your enjoyment and making it look or what you think it looks. And when I pick it up at some point in the future and go, I look at, I'll look at a guy and I'll go, something about him, and then I'll look under magnification. I'm like, oh, that's it. I'm like, that's what's throwing me off. This guy was an exact prime example. I shall show you. Here he is. All right, so this guy is this is Alvin, one of the characters in our D&D campaign. This is a store-bought mini, I think. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it is. And I was looking at him going, something's weird about him. I didn't like him. So I looked under my magnification, and he has decent detail, but his paint is running over in a lot of spots. Now, his hat was really bad, and I went through and kind of repainted his hat. I mean, it's the same colors. I didn't change anything. I just wanted it to be more defined, more clean. So I went through it and started cleaning it up. And I can see, even just looking at him now, that like his hair has backpack color on it. Over here in the front is, I can't even tell if that front is supposed to be part of his coat, or if that's his hair running around in front. I'm actually not sure this isn't a girl. For one, he's got really long hair in back. And then his flesh color is like on the hair and running all, it's like they put the face on coloring on last. So yeah, so he's got all kinds of like little things that just kind of irk me. So like one of them was the base. He had no base. It was just a black base. And I said, all these guys have bases on him. So I turned his base into looking like he's walking on a sidewalk, or a stone floor. But so yeah, this guy could use some tweaks. And like, plus he's got, all right, I don't know if this is supposed to be a cane or what this is he's carrying around. Maybe it's a gun. I don't know. But his hand paint is like going all up and down the shaft of this thing. His fingers, some of his fingers are the color of the rod. He's got white coming up under his hand. I don't know what that's supposed to be. Is that supposed to be the sleeve? It's like running up his hand. I don't know. Over here, his hand is gold underneath, where he's got these gold bracers on. Yeah, so he's got a lot of things that if I was to actually go at it, I would take all the same colors. I wouldn't even change the colors, but I would just try to clean him up. It just kind of bugs me looking at him. Make him look nicer, better, faster, stronger. Anyway, so yeah, that's me. I look at table ready and go, that's not done. Trust me, I have a lot of store-bought minis here. I don't fix them all. The only reason I would even look at that one is because it's one that we have and we're using it and it's in play regularly. So. Okay, so I fixed that little black carryover. doing much here. This is just me adding a little bit of brightness to the leg. Just where the sun might be on it a little bit more. And I don't think it's going to do much. Probably not even going to be noticeable. But it's because this is a brighter color and I figured, hey, let's bring it into play a little bit. And I'm toning down the dark areas of the stripes. Just a little. Toning them down, not in going over them so much as just making them smaller. More svelte. Okay. Not much. But I had the color in my hand, so let's do it. Alright, so now let's go ahead and do that white thing I was going to do. Trying to put some white on the boots. Let's make sure I don't have any extra water. No, people say you can do highlights. Highlights with black, or highlights with white on black. I've always been, it looks like white to me, but I'm going to find out because I'm trying it. So this will be the first character I've ever tried to use white highlight on black. I've done the purple. I've done gray. Somebody let my dog down here again. I know she's not going to want to be down here very long. I probably will have to go over this somehow with so I'm just trying to hit all these parts with it. Crease of the boot. We're going to find out what this does, because right now my confidence level is very low. Because it's just too bright. It just looks like I'm drawing lines all over his boot. I don't know how people do that. It's like, I think you have to use like, if you don't want to be driven nuts by the fact that your white is so white, you kind of have to no, I can most certainly tone this down. I can go over it with a gray. Whatever, just make it look less obvious, which is probably where I'm leaning. It just looks like lines, white lines all over his boot. And I do not want white lines all over his boot. So really what I probably should have used is probably more like a gray, something very pale. And the thought is you can try to blend it, right? I mean, you do a little gray, a little black, a little gray, a little black, and then you just try to make it look like it's natural. Ultimately, that's the goal, right? So you want this to look like it's really just coming off. It's this reflection. It's just a bright spot where the light is hitting. But that's the problem. It's not always so easy to be. As I suspected, my dog's already like, okay, I've been down here long enough. Can you let me out? I'm like, no. Why did you come down? This is why I don't like her coming down here. Because she's always like, I don't want to be down here anymore. Okay, so this is working out much better. It's definitely giving it more of a creased boot look instead of the white lines all over my boot look. Just taking that bite off of the white. Just gotta tone it down enough. Make it look like it's really just a reflection of light rather than actually being a white spot. Yeah, much better. It's almost like you can't quite tell, but you know that this boot's got creases in it. That's definitely better. Oh, I can't believe we're already halfway through the weekend. Yeah, I said it. It's only Saturday. But man, once you hit Saturday, you're already one day away from your vacation, your weekend being over. Such is the way of weekends. They don't stick around very long. Better? Better or worse than the boot? One has color, one has details, highlights, grabbing at it, and then the other one is just black. Oh, I guess it looks a little better. But yeah, I think it's definitely gray is better than white. Because I ended up washing down the white to the point where it's almost gray anyway. But it just looks better than trying to do this with the white and then go over the white. I mean, yeah, you can see the white better, but now I gotta do it on this boot. This boot already kind of started, but and since it's supposed to be a whiter spot, I only do it where the light would be, right? So I don't take it like all the way under where the boot is at the shadow. You know, like there wouldn't be too much light actually getting underneath. Tone down the white I put on there because it was way too white. Get a little bit on his straps here. Now I gotta figure out how I'm gonna do the buckles. Yeah, this is Sir Julian. Sir Julian Brightstar. He is like I said, possessed armor, controlling a animated skeleton. In this case, a plastic animated skeleton. Yeah, a guy found a magical skeleton. Well, it's a gem. A gem. Basically, he found a plastic skeleton that had a gem on it that allowed him to animate the skeleton. And this guy will take over or will possess an animated skeleton. Didn't say have to be bone. He will possess an animated skeleton with his possessed armor. So you put the possessed armor on the animated skeleton, and he will take it over, and it will last until it lasts. He'll keep it alive, but he's still kind of bound to the person who animated the skeleton. But he was a Hell Rider, at one time prior to death. And so he's a very formidable fighter. And that's what. So, but he has been killed a couple of times. Well, and he just has to be resummoned, and he can be summoned like once a day. Well, he can be summoned once a day if you have an animated skeleton available. Now, regular skeleton, if you have like the skill, like a spell or something that lets you summon skeletons, then you're good. You know, just summon another skeleton and stick him on there, and it'll take over, and you're good to go. And he's way stronger. Like, he's a level 5 fighter kind of guy. But he's got some things. Like, for one, he can't heal. You can't heal him with a healing spell. He gets his health from corpses. Or not corpses, I'm sorry. Near-death, unconscious characters. He can roll an attempt to heal himself from people who are out. So it's kind of morbid, but like, if they're basically, their body will, you know, if they roll a con save, and they can roll this while they're out because it's how tough their body is, or how their soul resists having the life force sucked out of the body. And he just goes over there and sucks the last life force out of him. If he succeeds, the person dies. He's gone. So basically, everybody who dies, I should have my team make a conscious effort to say, all right, we're not doing killing blows. Everybody who goes down is not a killing blow. But there's a chance that if they leave characters alone or whatever, they could regret that. I don't know. I've never understood that. Like on Baldur's Gate, when you don't do killing blows, do the guys get back up, or are they just out? I mean, it's kind of weird. I never understood how you don't how that character does not still become a problem for you. That's like, wait, what? How do they not? I mean, how long do they lie there? I mean, 8 hours, 6 hours? If you don't kill them, won't they become an issue still? I mean, I feel like that, you know, they could, right? Dang it, I'm having a hard time getting my gray back. So I'm actually painting the light. So when I see light, I'm like, oh, light hits there. I should probably put a little bit of my gray in that spot. Just don't want it to be too light. I don't know if I want my boot to start turning black on me, or white. Should never be a doubt that these are black boots, right? So even with my handy dandy this white spot here. I'm using, like I said, not actually using black right now. I'm using whatever this weird gray is. It's not technically gray. It's not Gravelord gray. What is it? Something black. I don't know where I put it. Oh, here it is. Grim black. It's darker than Grimlord gray. Gravelord gray. All right. I think he's, like I said, he's almost done. I don't know. I'm just kind of being picky now. Cleaning things up. Everything's painted. I don't think he's got any outstanding. The only thing I'd like to try to fix at some point is his cape. I think I got the fire backwards. I want it to look like fire, so if I was to look at this like it was a flame, I think I have it backwards. I think the yellow goes on the inside. But I gotta find his sword, dang it. I know his sword is around somewhere. Alright, let's do one thing I haven't done yet, and that is to get the base painted. This is where I'm just gonna go with plain old, everyday, good old fashioned black, which I think is this one. Right? I hope. Yep, we'll find out in a minute. If it's not, I'll just have to go over it with something, I guess. Now this is a synthetic brush. It's my crap brush, but it's big and wide, and all I do with it is no, that's a wash. That's not even a solid paint. I don't even know what that one is. Let's see what that one is. That one's a wash too, I think. Yep. Alright, I need to get some actual black paint. Oh, that might be actual black paint over there. Yeah. Pretty sure that one's actual black paint. But yeah, I would definitely need to find his sword. I may have to find the place I bought this, and maybe ask him to print me another sword. I'll buy some other mini from him, of course, and just ask him to print a sword for me and send it. Because they were actually separate pieces. They didn't break off. It was a separate piece. And I did have it painted. I kind of had an idea how it was painted. But it's just a sword. And he's actually pulling it out of a scabbard right now. Out of the, out of the sword holster. That's his position. So he's got one hand pulling it out of he's getting ready to fight. That's kind of what it is. something. It's the little things, like cleaning up the base, looking like got a nice border around it. Sometimes I'll actually paint the base in a color or tint to the character. Whatever the base is. Like if it's sand colored, I might paint the color tan like the base. I don't always do that. Sometimes I like the border. It just makes it crisp and focuses on the display itself. So he's kind of cool, but I really wish I had got the fire right. But otherwise, I think he's about done. I gotta find a sword though. All right, so I'm gonna call it for now on him. I don't really know what else to do to him. I think he's good. We'll put him back in his be ready to join the party place once they resummon him. I'll have to take some pics of him and get him back out as soon as I find his sword or get a new one printed. I keep looking in the places I could have swore I put it. Usually I put like like miscellaneous parts like this, like a wing. See, I got a wing right there. Things that aren't on their figure, and there's reasons why some of these figures don't have their pieces. Some of them it would have covered them up too much, made it difficult to paint. Others it broke off, and so I put it back in there until I get around to fixing it. Things like that. So it's not that I'm like just being. So I usually like throw it in like one of these little cases. Like I got Wonder Woman's sword right here, or Wonder Woman's shield. I have her over there. I just haven't finished painting her, so I figured to keep the shield out of the way until I do. And that's usually where I put them. It's either like I have like 2 or 3 of these that might have it. Normally I don't put them in that. It would be in here. This is where I put most everything. I should probably move Wonder Woman's shield over here. But these are all the same kind of thing. So this is like somebody's, I don't know, fire. I don't know what that is. Somebody's sword or staff. And usually I'll know because I'll be looking at a guy go, where's his weapon? And I'll go, oh, it's in here. So yeah. But I put them all here. I don't know what the heck I have this for. I have like a piece of paint in there. a dried piece of paint. But that's it. That's where I normally keep all my miscellaneous little bits like that belong to a character that just has not yet had the privilege of having his weapon thing put back on. And what's this? Alright, so this is inside the X case. This is how I use the X case. Alright. And this is because I made them and I use them for displays. So this is the metal base that we use that you can put magnetic minis on. If you have magnets on your minis, you put this on the inside of the base and they'll stick to the metal plate. So we have the metal plates to sell. And then if you do like I do, which I prefer, is to put the flex iron on the bottom of the minis, which we sell flex iron for the minis. And then you put them on the magnetic strip, which also you can put inside the X case. But this is because I display and demo different minis when I go to conventions. And I don't always want to reconfigure all of my cases. Like I'll have like maybe a display setup, 6 or so, with lights on them probably, that I take with me to a convention. And with that, I don't want to always have to move the lights or reposition lights or get new cases. I don't have all my cases don't have lights, but some of them do. And so I put the magnet on the metal plate, which provides good heft, good weight, and keeps it from tipping over like if under normal movement. This is oddly enough not a miscellaneous piece. This is actually a hedgehog. I have to do this one under magnifying glass. He's so tiny. I painted him under there. I haven't even, his eyes I don't think are painted, but not you'd be able to see them. Got some rats and stuff. But so this is how I do it. This way I can slide this out, put it in another case, and I can just demo it. Now in this case, I don't move this one around very often, but I actually do. This is one of my to be worked things. So I've got 2 Wonder Womans, that one and that one, who are Wonder Women. Wonder Womans? I think they're Wonder Womans because they're not Wonder Women. They're Wonder Womans. They're Wonder Woman multiple times. They're not like a group of women. So I'm saying they're Wonder Womans. I think that's the correct way to use that in this case. Just like you might have 4 Supermans. They're not supermen. Superman implies they're different people. It'd be like, they're just like a group of guys that happen to be super. Superman is Superman. There's only one Superman, so you have 3 Supermans, which is still only one Superman, just different forms, different versions. Yeah, there's your English lesson, says Ken today. So, yeah. And this one, I think, is just magnets. See, these are little magnets. Now, what do I use little magnets for if I don't use those kind of plates? These are actually meant to be for, like, if I want to do, like, something custom on minis. I've used them to make, for example, I used them on some dice towers that had, like, little lids that came off, and I just put a bunch of these little things on the tips of all of the cages, and it makes the lid stick better to the... I put flex iron inside the lid, and then the lid sticks to the cages better. They don't come off as easily. But you can also use them for things like making removable arms and legs and stuff if you want to have movable weapons. Still need to figure out where I put that guy's sword. And I really and truly do not know. Okay, so this is part of the problem. Let's see if I can show you this. Now, I don't have a ton of minis, but I have a lot of minis. So if I go over here and show you that, see that? It's zoomed in, so it's kind of hard to see, but that entire bunch of cases there, those are all mage cages and X cases, all filled with minis. Now, each one of those can hold, not all of them are filled to capacity in any way, shape, or form. Some of them are, but a lot of them are like partial, like that top one, which is actually one of my ones I take to game night and stuff. But like this one, these cases here, there's what, 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 19, 21. There's about 24 cases there. And so if you figure each one can hold roughly 30 figures. I don't know what I did here. Oh, I know. Wait, hold on, maybe move this. Trying to refix my camera after I moved it. Okay, each one holds at least 30. Some of them I put the magnets on top, so there's minis hanging upside down. But if you figure you get 24 and they hold about 30 figures, dude, what is that? 3 times 20, 60, 60, 72, 72 times... That's about 7. Wow, really? No, really? Yeah, that's upwards of 700 minis. Holy moly. Now, some of them are really big, and it's not totally full, but yeah, probably between 600 and 700 miniatures just in this area. And I still have probably 3, 6, I have 10 more cases on the floor over here of more that aren't full either. In fact, some of them are just my display boxes, which I think are partially empty. But still, if you count those, and then in the back I have my Joan of Arc, which all by itself is probably 200 and some odd minis. It only takes up like 9 cases, but that's because the Joan of Arc are 19mm scale. So the people in Joan of Arc are like this big. They're tiny. I mean, human size. Now, there's some monsters and animals and things that are bigger and bigger and bigger. The biggest thing I have from Joan of Arc, and I don't know if you've heard the Joan of Arc Kickstarter, I backed it. I thought it was cool. I actually played it one day with a couple of my friends who, I mentioned it the other day and they couldn't even remember playing it. I'm like, what do you mean? We played it like 2 scenarios and you guys were like, I don't know. So they didn't like it that much. I thought it was okay. You play scenarios, it's all scenarios. But okay, so this is like the biggest fig from Joan of Arc. It's the biggest one I got. I don't know if there was a bigger one. But a big old Hydra monster. He's not a Tiamat because Tiamat's only got 5 heads. This guy's got 7 heads. But if you think about it, 19 millimeter scale figure. So these guys are 25 millimeters. So it would still be big just to this person, right? A 25 millimeter scale woman. A 19 millimeter scale person is like half this big. So think as big as this bird. That's what a soldier or a hero. That's what a soldier or a hero thinks of this monster creature. One of these days I'm going to paint this. I am. One of these days. I'm scared of painting this thing. I truly, it's cool. I think I can do it, but it's definitely an airbrush project, partially, at least, getting all the base crap in there. And then I have to paint the heads. Do I paint them all different, or do I just paint them all like the same kind of thing with various eyes? I don't know. Hydras aren't all like multicolored and stuff, not like Tiamat, who's all supposedly multiple, representing of different kinds of powers and magics. But I think in general, they could just all, you visualize black mean monsters, but I don't like painting things black. I don't like it. Black is to me like, yeah. So it would maybe like a brown. There's no doubt this would be a fun thing, but this would take me a long time, and I don't know when I would get this to a table, but I'd have to find a way. Because I could put this down on a regular D&D with 25 millimeter or even 32 millimeter scale monsters. It would still be freaking scary to see this thing pop up. All right, so you hear this noise. You hear like these growling sounds, multiple. You hear like 3 or 4 growling sounds, and it's a dark cave, and it's kind of down through this long tunnel, and you can hear the sounds in the back, and just like rustling sounds. But you can't make anything out. So you continue forward, and you continue on in. And you hear the sounds of chewing, and it becomes more and more clear that there's something eating in this other room. And as you come closer, you can see that there's like ambient lights, and you can see shadows. Just seem to take up the whole room. It's like every now and then you'll see like some of this light becomes visible. You can't quite make it out, but there's something large in that room. And as you come into the room, suddenly this shadows start to stand and rise up before you, and they hit what appears to be the roof over 30 feet in the air. And suddenly rocks all around you fall, and light pours in from the top of this cavern, and before your eyes is this monstrous beast with multiple heads standing before you as it rears up with its wings open wide. Roll for initiative. It's like they got this big old monster. Boom, lands on the table. It's like, yeah, I hope you guys are pretty big. I'd have to even figure out what the monster scale is, or what you would, what the stats would be for something like this. But, and I'd have to figure out how not to do it, maybe not in a cave, because he flies, right? He's got big old monster wings, and I'd like him to be able to be totally irritating. One of those fights that the party wishes they had not walked into the room. Maybe not kill him, but certainly make them wish no matter how strong they think they are, make them wish they were stronger. That kind of thing. So he'd have to have, like, with all those heads, multiple attacks. I mean, we're talking crazy numbers of attacks. You'd just be him, but it'd be like you're fighting 7 of him, right? Because he has 7 heads. So just him in the room, but 7 attacks on your party in a row. Now the heads could all focus on different characters, if they're close. Um, maybe even have him be able to breathe fire, so he'll have like be able to shoot like one head shoots fire, one head shoots ice, one head shoots lightning, one just can blow like tornado level winds, or roar and thunder. Just have all these attacks that can potentially be used, and then have it be like a regenerative. They have to, certain things have to happen to kill it. In order to kill a head completely, it would just be this massive fight. So yeah, I would. That would be fun to try to get that going. All right, so what to do next? I need bigger bushes. Okay, so a bigger grass. Like this character, he's done. I mean, for the most part, I don't think I have a whole lot to do with him. I think I've got his eyes are already painted. Yeah, he's pretty good to go now. But I might tweak, because you can see some of him if it's sprayed off. I need to put some varnish on him just to keep him looking sharp. But I might even use a glossy varnish. But I got, like, his base isn't clean. I was gonna put some bushes around him, but I want like tall grass. I want like grass that looks like if I stuck it in between him, he's like in the grass, like tall grass. And I don't know how easy to do that with what I have. I mean, I don't want to just stack bushes. That seems kind of weird. I could take something like this, but this doesn't look very grassy. So I know there is function or stuff out there that would serve that. I might even put like regular grass down and then glue like taller grass on the grass, just so it all looks like it's all like a grassy area. But I want him to be I want grass that goes up that looks like he's coming through these. You're like in a swampy area or whatever. Or maybe not just swamp, just tall grass, overgrown grass where a gigantic snake has managed to cover the area. And so that's my goal for him, but I don't have tall grass yet. I need to get it on my wish list. I have it on my wish list. I just haven't bought it yet. It's all right. We're getting to that time of year. All right. Well, it's not as big a deal with my family, with everyone else, because most of those, my kids and everybody else who buys stuff, they don't buy in September or October, or heck, even November half the time. Now some people do. Don't get me wrong. We do. My family does a gift exchange every year. We just do $100 gift exchange, but we all draw names, and we all draw names, and then we all go and do buy $100 of stuff off of people's wish lists. Maybe. There are people who just like don't even use wish lists. They just go buy. The whole point of the wish list. Now, you should not. Okay, this is one of the things I hate. So if you use wish lists, telling you right now, don't be one of those people who only puts one item on your wish list and just says, okay, I'm going to get this because this is the thing. Don't do it. I will go off book if somebody does that. I will go like, okay, what is this person like? And then I will go buy stuff that's not on their wish list. If they put 3 things on their wish list and one of them is the thing they want, I'll probably get that item because, for $100, if I could do it. Then there's some people, I won't mention names, just in case there's an odd microscopic chance that one of my family members is watching this, who put one item on there and it costs more, $5, $10, $20, $25, $30 more than the gift exchange amount. And they just, like, I occasionally will go over anyway. If I can see a couple items, I'll pay the extra money to pay tax or whatever, just to get it. Because I don't mind if it goes over a little bit. But if somebody does that presumptuously, because first of all, not everybody, some people might be doing the gift exchange and their budget is $100, and some people are good with their budget, and they can't really afford to be breaking their budget for a thing. So they say, okay, I got $100, I'll pay the 102 or whatever. But don't assume somebody's going to pay more. Some people might. Heck, I know my dad has a habit of he'll buy things off of my gift list that are like $150, $160. But I have a lot of options on mine where you could probably find stuff on there and pay not a penny more. Or if you want, you could even find stuff with tax. You don't go over $100. You land right at 100 or something, because there's just so many options on my list. Because I have a huge wish list. This stuff that's just nice to have. Sometimes it's things that are less like off. I actually have on my wish list. I have like 3 or 4 wish lists. I use Elster. We use Elster. A lot of people I know use Elster now, because I kind of got everybody using it. My whole family's using it. Friends, I got everybody using it, because they use it in their own families. It's so cool. You just have it there. People can update it. You remove stuff that you've already got. You add the new things on it all year round. Because then somebody could use it for your birthday, or heck, you could graduate from college or school, or people can go say, hey, this is stuff that he wants. Let's go look at this. Just it makes it so easy. Elster is the coolest thing, and they do a pretty good job keeping it up. I don't know how they're making money. I hope they're, because it's free. That's the other thing. So I don't know how they make money. I'm glad they keep doing it. I hope they keep going. But I hope they're making money too. I mean, they don't even ask for money. They don't even have a thing that says you can go give them money. At least that's what I've seen. I think it's a lot of ads. A lot of not ads like they're constantly inundating with the ads, because you're not. But obviously, when people want to buy stuff, they have links and stuff that'll take you places, and and then they have their own little shopping thing, which will take you to, like, hey, look this thing up, and it looks it up on all these different websites, and I think they probably get cuts from some of the stuff. So that's how I think they're doing it. But anyway, I hope they're making something. It's a good product. They've been doing it for years, and they keep making it better. So anyway, so yeah, I want to get grass, tall grass for him. Nothing else I can do with them until then. I could maybe, like I said, like I did with before, just paint the ground, green or whatever, so that it's at least looks like a muddy green or some kind of thing. But not much I can do with him. Same with this guy. He needs a base, but I need, like, with him, I want like significant bushes. He is a giant elk, but I mean, come on, I want bushes, things that stand out, and maybe even put a, kind of cool. I don't know. I don't want a tree. He's not as big as a tree, but he might be a good. I don't know. Come up with something for him, but he needs some kind of basing. I need more basing options. Like, I do have some rocks and crap I could glue down. That might be something. But okay, so this is one girl I was working on also. I just started her. She's kind of cool. I was using what was I using to paint her? She's actually kind of. How did I get those colors? I don't even know what I did, but it's kind of cool. What did I do? Oh no, I don't even know how I repeat that. But anyway, so let's hope I don't need to do that anymore. But it's basically, it looks like, I think it almost looks like I used the metallic color on her. So what can I do to her hair? That's what I was trying to work on, was she is weird. Okay, so look at her arm. She got one arm that's like all bolt roided out. And then she's got one normal hand underneath here holding this dagger. Yeah, so she's an unusual character, to say the least. I gotta do something with her hair, and I was gonna go with, I think, a very pale skin look. In fact, I think I did. Come to think of it, I think she's got like a gray hued skin. Who else? Is there anyone that's really high on the needing to be done list? Well, the answer to that question, of course, is yes. There's always somebody on the needing to be done list. So this guy, so he must be one. Did I paint this guy? I feel like I don't know if this is I think I did paint this guy, but I don't. Characters. No, maybe I didn't. Because I don't know very many figures that I would buy that are like. I mean, oh, maybe he is a Reaper mini. Maybe that's it. So I was trying to figure out where his. Yeah, I don't know. I feel like maybe I did paint him. But he needs a base too. A good base for him is what? Some kind of water or swamp. I don't know. How would you do swamp? How would you do water or swamp? And especially when he's already on the base. You can't really pull him off, so it's got to be very thinly done. Maybe put a very, very thin layer of black around him. Maybe a silty layer. Very thin, thin, thin layer. Covered up with, brown. Make it kind of a dark color. And then put like water stuff on here, and then try to see if I can come up with like a way to make ripples around his feet. That would be cool. I don't know if I could do ripples. I may be asking too much of myself. I'd have to do some research on how do you do ripples on feet. I mean, not ripples on feet, ripples around feet. Well, this is kind of a distraction, really. I just want to cut the extra rubber off of his space. Why, you say? I don't know. Because I can, and I'm here, and this is what I'm doing at the moment. Alright, close enough. I just didn't want the extra rubber sticking out. I don't know why. But yeah, ultimately I need to put something down to try to make his base less boring. Alright. I'm going to put something down. Something going on him. Water texture. Transparent water. Yeah, I think I will put that down, but I think I'm gonna first put uh, go with my classic mud. It's the easiest thing. My earth brown. It's the most. It's got to be a super thin layer, like even to the point where I might even see a lot of the base underneath it still. But I'm trying to. I want to get like a basic texture setup that looks kind of like just mud, silty ground. This is like the best purpose for that. I mean, this is like that's what this does, man. Now this is just going to be me basically splatting this out as thin as I can, but yet trying to cover everything. You know? So a lot of times I make it really thick because I just well for one it's trying to a lot of times I have a character that's on there and he's on his own little base, so I got to make it thick enough to to level out at least with his base, so it looks like he's on the same level ground all the way across, and there's not like not like what do you call it, exception, like a mound, like he's not standing on a mound. That's what I'm trying to do. I try to avoid that. Now these guys, when they're already glued to the base, and probably my fault. I probably glued them to the base. There's no doubt about it. Sometimes what I'll do is I'll glue them. Some characters, I glue them really lightly to the base, like an uber tiny amount, like maybe only put 2 feet on it. One little micro dot, just enough to make the guy kind of hard to get off, but yet he's still loose. And then I can paint him. He'll stay on the base. And then when I'm ready to do the base, I can pop him off the base, do the base, and then put him back on it. But I don't always remember to do that. Sometimes I just glue him on. So that's my bad. But oof, thought I was using the big one. I was using the small one. Alright. There's a weird piece of string or something, or a dried out spot. It's probably good enough, to be honest. I mean, it's just supposed to make the ground look a little muddy. In this case, it's okay, because I'm actually going for a silty look, but I'm going to probably cover it up with a dark brown. I'm going to paint it like it's so it looks like the bottom of water, right? So it'll be dark colored. Then I will probably go over it with like a water texture or some kind of even, I don't know, maybe even a water. I'll just pour water on it. Artificial water. I don't know. It's like you got to put something on, but I don't think you have to worry too much about stuff overflowing if it's really a low layer. Maybe put like a little layer of tape around it. Just something to stop it from overflowing, but you just super low. I'm thinking he's like walking in swampy area is what I'm thinking. Not like he's in water necessarily. Or he could just be coming up on the shore where there's water, but it's not like it's not everywhere. Okay, I think I got that pretty much covered up. This does dry pretty fast. I mean, even just that almost looks better because it looks like he's actually on some kind of mud, right? It just doesn't look like it's just normal base. It's never good enough just to throw down basic base, but it doesn't. It looks better, and yeah. But by itself, you need some kind of highlight, shadows, basic paint, anything, just to make an area make something look a little bit better. But no, I've tried to figure out what to do with his coloring because I don't know. The green is very plain. Got a couple highlights. I don't know if I even did that very well, but I feel like there's something I can do to make that pop a little better than it does. But let's deal with one thing at a time, shall we? Anyway, he's in progress. Another in progress guy. Got him everywhere. In progress is everywhere. For every little bit I do, I can go, hey. And really it's things that pop up that I get that keep coming back up. It's like if I use them a lot. Like those are beasts that are being used as shapeshifted beasts. So a lot of beasts get done just because they're going to keep coming up with every druid or a summoner that can make or summon beast or shapeshift or whatever. Those beasts have a chance to be played, so I keep trying to work on them, giving nice options and actually having a pretty cool figure to pull into play at any given time. So I got to start making my travel box. Druids are fun to play because you get to play all kinds of different pieces too, but like my changeling gets to be a lot of different things, but he's usually a monk, so I have all these different monks that when he transitions he turns into different versions of his monk self. And he's astral self, which means he has this look when he uses his astral visage and astral forms or whatever, and he'll be able to change in even more things. So that's kind of what my changelings I'm doing. Okay, so I actually kind of like her cloak. Let's do something with her hair, though. I'm trying to figure out. I kind of thought white hair might be interesting. A la Frankenstein, female Frankenstein. The Bride of Frankenstein? Trying to get a better view of what she's got going on her as far as clothing and stuff goes. What would be... Man, I'm struggling with coming up like with her hair. I'm really leaning towards a white, but she's got these braids, and I was trying to think, what can I do that's unique with those braids? And would they be white like white or white like... Alright, like holy white. Let's try it. I'm going to go with painting her hair holy white, which is gray. But that's going to be like the base. And then I'm going to use white to really call out a lot of strands. And then I'm going to try to figure out something. Maybe a blue hue? A blue, very, 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 very light blue hue. Yeah, but then her hair is blue and her cloak is blue. In my head, I keep seeing more. I keep seeing white. I keep seeing white because no other color's working for me. All right, so I mentioned the other day that I like to use a massage gun for shaking my paints. So you see this little band on here. I use that to grab the bottle. Let me take my massage gun here, which this thing, like I said, is spectacular for massage. You can see my band is near death. I do have a bunch of those. Those are ID rings. In fact, here's a new one. Let's use a new one. These ID rings are really long lasting, and they used to be meant to put around the bases of figures, but you can see that most figures these days, they don't fit. They might work pretty good around a 35 millimeter base, but ultimately they're not what they once were. I still sell them. People still buy them from us, but I don't know what they use them on. They can be put, they're very flexible, so they can be put on bigger bases. But this is for like when you're playing in tournaments and in games where like HeroClix or things like that, where you want to be able to separate yours from the other people on the board, right? So you want your character to stand out. Mine is the one with the ID ring on it. But plus bases anymore are always so thin. And, you know, you don't want it rubbing them off. So, yeah, their usefulness ain't what it used to be. And so repurposing them for other things. I've used them as deck bands. What am I doing? Why am I shaking this? That's what the whole point of this thing was. Let's see here. Let's try a more thorough band option where I use both band sides. Now, there we go. That should hold for a minute and a half. It works pretty good. It works better with like Reaper bottles or Vallejo bottles. They have this neck on them, so the band actually goes in between the neck, and then it holds it really nice. You kind of have to keep an eye on what you're doing with this one. I do like to change its angle quite a bit. I think it's more... You get that little metal ball to fall, let gravity pull it down to the bottom, so it shakes the junk on the bottom, and then you turn it over. Just kind of get that. And I usually hold it with my fingers, so you can see my fingers going off. I do that because I don't want the band to come off and then it flies away. Now you got to get a good gun. Some massage guns, the seal around the bottom, you have to actually hold it here because it'll pull the head out. The leverage of the paint bottle will pull on the head and eventually pops out. This one, that doesn't work happen, but my previous gun did happen all the time. So I had to, so sometimes I'll like, while it's shaking the bottle, it's a good time to give yourself that leg massage. To get that calves worked a little bit out. Mine are sore because I ran this week. But you know, 2 for 1. You get that get take advantage of that massaging effect. Get your IT band good and worked, especially if you're a runner. Make sure you keep your IT band nice and limber so you don't get sore knees and hips. Now, what is the proper speed, you might ask, for shaking a bottle? I have no idea. Don't ask. Don't overcomplicate things, man. There's no proper speed. Just shake the bottle. Fast, maybe. Is it better to be violent? Violent shaking, or is so anyway, that kind of got most of the crap off the bottom. And once again, this settles so fast though. Like tomorrow, if I used it again, it would be all white, and it would be all settled because that's the lameness of it. All right, let's do her hair in this color. This is going to be just a base. I'm going to use very basic, enough to get me going in the direction I want. I'm going for white hair, but this is supposed to be, it's called Holy White. All it is a gray. And then I have to decide how white I'm going to make it. Is it going to be super white? Is it just going to be... I don't think you can really do... Like, this is... In my humble opinion, this Holy White is like... It's like a shade for white. You know, so... You use white... as the primary color, but... And then you can use this as your shade. But just be careful because it will very much gray your white. So that's why I say it's almost better to put it down first and then use white in the places you don't want it. So don't put the white. So don't splotch your white down, but use the white as the top level. Kind of like you're doing as a highlight, but you want to do more. Like I wouldn't do it as a dry brush necessarily, unless your dry brush is going to be kind of wet. Because you want, if you're going for an actual white look, you want all those white areas, you want it to be white everywhere. But I would just say, I know it takes longer. Again, I am not the expert. There are people who would tell you, I mean, go look at Ninjon, Miniac, Squidmore, Squidward, Squid, what is his name? SpongeBob SquarePants? Not that guy. Squidward. Yeah, Squidward. Not Squidward. Squidmar, you can use. Those guys are pretty good. There's a lot of good painters out there. Those guys, you know, they might be your better source for how to paint, but I'm just telling you how I feel about what my opinions and theories are. So take them or leave them. If you want an expert's opinion, I'm not the person, because as you may have noticed, I am not an expert. But I don't know. I think my painting comes out okay. Good enough that I can safely. And now a lot of it isn't even about your skill level, right? I mean, you can know the right way to do things. It's possible without being able to do it. Just like I know how to do NMM. I can't do NMM. I have no ability to do it. It's like I know all the. It's like I can read the instructions to assemble something, but maybe I don't know how to assemble it. It's like I don't have the tools. All right, so there you go. There's a base coat for white. Now I have to actually try to get some white on her hair to really lighten it up. But I got to do something like I want to do something with those braids of hers, and I don't know if I want to make them black or if I want to make them, I don't know, maybe just a dark gray. Like maybe she's got gray hair of varying kinds, like she'll have gray strands and white strands. The white will be loose and all the gray will be like together. Maybe that's a thing. I don't know. This is all in my head right now, guys. I have no idea what I'm doing with this guy. I am currently. I don't even know how clear that is. I really need to get a good camera on here. Hmm. Let's see here. Oh, excuse me. Plus, there is the one drawback that this stuff, this is 1.0. It's a very good contrast or speed paint, but it reactivates. So you got to let it dry a lot in order to prevent the reactivation. It's not. But she definitely needs to be. It needs to be more defined, just because. Anyway, I'll do that. Okay. Have to let that dry. Let her hair dry. I got to do something with that flesh though. What did I put on her? I used a very gray. Flesh. Is there a good, what is a good color for flesh? You know? She's got this plastic on her hand. I will cut off. Oh, you can see that she's white underneath. Surprised my dog has not really complained yet. Usually when she hears people upstairs, she feels like, oh, I gotta go upstairs. I gotta go make sure I'm not missing out on the potential of food. Usually she's not, because we don't usually feed her, but she's still got to look. She's still got to look at anybody who might be in the kitchen. She's like, hello, just in case you're thinking about giving out food to either to me or Xena, just know that I'm right here. You don't have to give it to Xena, just give it to me. Xena's my other dog. Alright, so that's a little better. I really got to write down what I did do for these characters, but I think I was definitely giving her some pretty dark skin, which is fine. I don't mind that. I just want to know what I did. I think I was maybe just using a pale white skin. It's really kind of what I was leaning for. I wanted her to have kind of pale skin, but I do like that her face is kind of dark. I do like that. Trying to remember. And this is only what, a couple days ago. Jeez. This is what happens when you paint so many different things too. You're like, you end up with paint bottles that belong to everything, and then you put some things away, and then you end up with not having the paints that were actually used out. And I'm like, I don't remember what I did. It's like I need to have a list of all of them and go, okay, these colors are used. Even if I don't know what I used them on for her to particularly, just to write down the color, you know. These are the items used. Now, if I mix up a bunch of colors and put a bunch of things together, then that's, you know, hit or miss. Oh, there it is. That's what I used, Ghostly Moss. That's why she has a bluish hue to her face. That's it. See, I did have it out still. Ghostly Moss, man. Okay, so this one has the lip, Reaper lip. I call it a Reaper lip, but Vallejo has it too. So when you put that on, the little band will grab on way better to the bottle. Now you don't hear any rattling in this one because I have not put a shaker ball in there. Now a lot of the new paints, Vallejo and Army Painter are coming out with, have fans in them, or balls in them, the little stainless steel shaker balls. I actually have a big thing of shaker balls, and every time not every time, but a lot of times if I'm using a paint frequently, I make sure to add one. I pop off the lid and throw a shaker ball in there. Some people say it ruins paints. I haven't seen it. I haven't seen. If it does, I don't know what they're talking about. So until I experience the problem, I don't know, what do they mean by ruin the paint? I mean, what is ruined paint caused? I mean, yes, maybe in time, because you know anything stainless steel, which is supposed to be rust proof, really it's not rust proof. It's rust resistant. And in reality, the way if you don't know this, everything at some point will, you know, water will wreck it. Especially with metals, they will rust. Stainless steel has a coating on it that are properties about it that slow down that rusting significantly. But you will notice in time if you have like a stainless steel this, that, or the other thing that's subjected to water regularly. Eventually, it can rust. And you might see that if you've had it for a long time, it actually does start to get rust on it. That's because that coating eventually breaks down, and it's no longer capable of preventing rust completely. Or the rust has worked its way into the. Now I already have this on here somewhere, but with the water separations and stuff, I couldn't even begin to tell you where it is. So I just put a new splat down. And I just keep using this thing up until there's no space left. And then some will dry up completely, like all the liquid will go away, and I'll just use that spot. It just becomes a dry spot. Excuse me. Whew. All right. still pretty thick. Why is this like... There we go. Oh, she's the Death Walker, or the Shadow Walker, or whatever they are. I forgot what they're called. One of these days I gotta get back to playing this game. I really did like it. I just, too many things came up, games came out, other things happened, and Frosthaven got set to the side for a bit. Plus, I gotta say, I was getting a little frustrated with how difficult Frosthaven is to play at the rule settings. You can lower the difficulty, but I was like, I'm historically very stubborn about making things easier than the basic rules. I don't like being forced to do that. I don't mind things being kind of easy and then they have rules to make it hard, and then you're like, okay, I could challenge myself by going harder, but then at least I know I'm going with the basic rules. There's the normal state, and that is, to me, it's like, I think there should be normal and easy, and normal should be okay. Most people who know how, and I will tell you, I feel like, in general, I'm a decent gamer. Now, yes, I'm not one of those guys who's uh, amazing, who wins everything, who manages to like figure out all the ins and outs, and is what you might call you an expert gamer. I'm not that, but I am quite good, especially with like board games and stuff. I am quite quite capable of winning. I win quite a bit, even the first time through, because I can figure out the strategies to a game, and figure it out quickly. As a result, I do pretty well. But I'm sorry, I'm kind of getting into an area that's kind of challenging. So hold on. Requires me to have a little sharper focus. So hold on just. trying to. Probably shouldn't have her forehead quite so dark, seeing as it's kind of on the top. Yeah, it's not too bad. Alright. Her face don't look too bad. Not exactly sure what I'm going to do with her mouth. I always have trouble with mouths. And that's because they're like, do you paint them? Do you actually bother with them? Or do you just shade around them? What is the norm for a mouth? Alright. I am going with the gray, as you can tell. That's I decided to go with the blue, ghostly gray look on her for her flesh. So, what that means is everything's got to be painted with the ghostly gray for all of her skin. I might do, I don't know, I haven't decided fully on what I'm going to do for her. She don't even have fingernails. I don't know, I need to come up with something more shadowy for her arms, more dark. Yeah, this is a lighter color, but that was. Trick is here figuring out all needs to be. What all needs to get. And she does have all of her skin needs to have the same color, even the parts of her that aren't weirded out, like her arm. Now the rest is either clothes or hair, something of that nature. So I definitely have to get that. Once the clothes and stuff are kind of done, that'll start to make the rest of her pop a lot better. Get the dagger done, get her body armor and hair and clothing done, and then I finish her hair. I think we're on the right track here, but I definitely want more white. I'm gonna have the white go very, very white on top and gray, and then I gotta figure out. I'll probably do something with those braids. I don't know. They'll be different color. I'm gonna take a quick break to let myself stretch out. My wife's home from her weekend job. Hey, man, Zomcop. I am coming back, but it's like I've been going since 12, man. And nobody came by and said hi. Now you said hi, and I appreciate it. But unfortunately, I'm going to take a quick break, probably about 30 minutes, and then I'll come back. And I'd like to chat with you some more, just to see what's going on in your day. But until then, I think I need to go stretch out, go eat some lunch. My day's broken today because I got up at 10 a.m. So I got up really late, so everything shifted forward. So I ate breakfast at 11. I'm eating lunch at 2:30, 3 o'clock, and then. But hey, in the meantime, you can go watch the beginning of the stream. I know that's no fun. Go watch someone else. There's other people who are painting out there if that's what you want to watch. But hey, keep an eye out if you're online. I'll be back. Until then, take it easy.